dude.
Catchy. Yeah, it's catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was vibing out.
Yeah, that was I wrote that for my wife.
Okay.
Yeah, with the whole EP is like for my wife.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's the one you guys just released, or that's the last one, right?
Oh no, that came out in 2020.
I was gonna say, yeah, it
Yeah,
was a little bit
that
older.
was a little older.
We're live?
Hey,
How's it going, man?
what's up?
Dude, thank you for coming.
Yeah, not a problem.
And for the people who at home who don't know, would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Andrew Dench, AP Counterfeit.
AB
Yeah.
Counterfeit.
Yeah.
This is an extraordinary man right here. He's an amazing photographer. First of all, that's how I knew him, but I also found out that you're an incredible musician as well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing hip hop for freaking almost 14 years now.
Yeah.
On stage.
And how many projects do you have out that people can go check out?
Oh man, probably should have thought of this beforehand. I think I have like 4 or 5 EPs slash full lengths on my personal page on Spotify, AP Counterfeit, and then my group is Counterfeit Money Machine, which is with my brother, is the other rapper, and then the producer is Juan Cosby, and we just released an album called When You Find a Stranger in the Alps, and that's on Spotify, and that's our second full length release.
That's dope. And I love the cover too. It's a Big Lebowski.
Yeah, so
That's fire, dude.
So we came up with that. It was funny. Growing up, we always would watch all those movies, like the '90s movies, on TV, and they'd be censored.
Yeah.
The censored versions, and it's like,
Oh yeah, it used to be on TNT.
right.
Yeah.
So like it would be like the part where he's beating the shit out of that car, and he's like, "You see what happens, Donnie? See what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass?" And he's like, he's beating the shit out of that car, and he's like, on the censored version, he's like, "See what happens? You see what happens when you feed your brother scrambled eggs,
Dude, that's
You see-
insane.
you see what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps." And then so
You see what happens when
Right.
you find it straight. That's so like meta and so deep. Like that's incredible, bro.
right. So then we did we came up with that, and then all our fucking song titles are all bullshit. We just made them up, and the the album art, I wanted to kind of like look like not like a direct parody of it, almost like to where it was like kind of like shitty, so it was looked like almost like a porn parody a little bit.
Yeah. It definitely gives you that like 90s, like early 90s vibe though.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
when you
for
look
sure.
at it, and you guys dressed in that, or are
Mhm.
those you guys actually put the outfits on?
Yeah, we like purposely dressed to kind of look like the characters, but like off brand.
And you guys, who did the photography for that?
I did all
You
that.
did
yeah,
your
yeah.
own
We just
photography
did
on it?
it all in the studio.
Did you also edit that graphic? Is that all you?
Oh yeah,
It's
I
all
did
in-house?
all the video. I have my own little YouTube channel called Artificial Currency, which right now only has one video on it. But yeah, I do all my own video editing and all that type of stuff too. So
You're a one-man band, Andrew. You really are,
all
dude.
the graphic design, the photography, video.
You're such a talented human. Like there's not that many people who are like, how do you say, a Renaissance man, right? Would you describe yourself as a Renaissance man?
A jerk of all trades.
A jerk. That's incredible.
Yeah,
a jerk
I don't
of all
know,
trades.
like-
That's tight.
I don't know. I've heard like people say like you should try to focus on one thing and be really good at that one thing, but like
That's no fun, is it?
I mean,
That's-
yeah, I'm like I've heard the Bruce Lee quotes like you can learn 1,000 kicks and be good at that 1,000 kicks, or you can be really good at this one kick. Just do that, practice that one kick 1,000 times, you'll be a master at that kick. And I'm like, that's cool, but do you have any other kicks? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
What other kicks do you got? You just got that one kick? 'Cause
If you get known
that's
for
it.
that one
Like,
kick, people are gonna expect it, and then
Right.
you're gonna, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
it happens so much in music too. Like, I mean, like, I don't want all of my songs to even sound similar, let alone like all sound the same or have the same style. Like, I'm constantly switching it up, and I'm never just utilizing things that I've used in the past. Like, oh, I'm just gonna hit this old rhyme scheme that I can do. Like, no, it's good. I'd rather just randomly make something up.
I feel the same way with like jokes and with podcasting. Like I try to I have the formula. I know what it takes. I have the ability, and now the how do you say, like the not the ability, but like the Fuck, dude, I'm brain farting right. I was just about to ask him if he'll grab that pin. Justin, will you grab that pin in the other room? I left that dad pin in there. I'm sorry, buddy. I appreciate you. I was reaching for it the whole time, but how do you say like the experience? So it's like
Right.
that comes into play as far as like all the art forms. It's like, and once you can kind of get that honed in, it makes it easier to be more creative. I think. You know.
Sure. Yeah, it's I like to have a lot of skills. Like I'd rather learn a lot of different things and know how to do different stuff. Like I don't know a whole lot of, things to do about
It's not in
like
there.
building and
I swear I had it.
like
No, yeah, we pause. You want to pause it? We need it. Put ads on it.
information. Right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just fucking edit this part out.
Oh yeah, this is
Hard
already
cut. Hard cut.
hard cut. Yeah.
Just a lot of hard cuts. Just every time you go to hit it, just hard
If
cut.
if anyone ever goes back and like watches these, there's a ton of those. And
There's
like
just like smoke coming on the opposite side. You just switch cameras.
in my early episodes, just like stuff will happen, or you'll have technical difficulties, or people will show up
That's even
unexpected.
funnier.
And
You
you're
put the
like,
technical
"Shit."
difficulty sign like logo up there, and you'd be like, "What repeat?" This
That's
is just
funny.
like some fuzz.
That actually makes it even better if you actually play into it.
Oh yeah,
It's
for
like doing
sure.
crowd work, but within your video. It's like you got to be smart like that these days to
Yeah,
keep people
man.
entertained. They
Yeah.
got stay on your toes and
Yeah.
yeah, you try to stay ahead of the curve.
Every little thing you can do. I mean, like as long as you're having fun with it, man.
Yeah, yeah, it all matters. That's what matters is having fun. Like
Yeah.
it really is, dude. We're all just big kids.
Yeah.
You were talking about kind of just utilizing all your different skill sets and getting
Yeah, man.
sharpening the different tools. And I heard, which I think you know him too, but Billy DeVore said this, and it stuck with me. But you got to be like a Swiss Army knife sometimes, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Of a person, and like all those different tools will get you in different doors and give you different opportunities.
Right.
So it's good to be like multi talented. I think.
Yeah, it's I'm not doing music for the intention of like getting signed and having like all this stuff done for me and all that stuff. Like I'm good. Like I'll just I'll do it whatever I want by myself. I guess it's DIY, but like at the same time I'm like, I just consider it just independent music. Like
Yeah,
I'm just doing it as much as I feel like doing it,
for the love of it.
Yeah, like it's
Yes.
just fun. Like I like learning about. I mean, I do all my own vocal recording. I like learning about Pro Tools and just even the nerdy stuff of learning the keyboard shortcuts to Pro Tools. Like I sat there and learned all the different keyboard shortcuts because I wanted to be able to maximize my efficiency so I can get in there and record a song in 30 minutes and be
Yes.
I'm ready. I know exactly all the EQs. I know exactly how my voice should sound. So boom, I'm able to get it out and have a demo ready and be able to listen to that for a month or so and then go back in and re-record the vocals for the legit song and have that ready to go and be able to bust them all out and have my process just boom, 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 boom and be ready to go.
Yeah.
As many times as I can say ready to go as possible.
It's almost like dude, this guy is ready to go. It's almost like a tattoo artist. Like you've been like sketching on your inner thigh, you know what I mean, for
Right.
years and years.
Right.
And then now not only are you able to utilize those skills when you make your own projects, but you're like doing work for other people, right? Like
Yeah.
for graphics, you're recording
For
other people,
sure.
and that helps tremendously.
Man, so like like I said, I've been doing this for a long time and I started doing, hip hop in 2009. And I've been making songs for a long time, just, at home, not really showing them to very many people, not putting them out there. And eventually got the opportunity to be on stage. And me and my brother went up there as AP and Kill Bill. And then we decided to be Counterfeit Money Machine. And it kind of grew from there. And we added Juan Cosby in 2012. But we were lucky enough throughout the time, like before he joined the band, we were lucky enough to know people in pop punk bands and stuff like that. So we would be playing like rock shows
Yeah.
and like metal shows and stuff where we're just randomly thrown in there playing with our iPod and pressing play and jumping around like goofballs.
Do you think that like that whole, because I remember there's being like a whole swing of like hip hop kind of meshing like early 2000s into the 2000 teens. Wasn't there like a huge mesh like 21 Pilots kind of, you had You
There
had a
was
lot of that. What was the other band? They
there
were
was one band
cartoons.
that I liked.
Gorillas,
Yeah, Gorillas. There was one band I liked called Chronic Future.
Chronic Future.
Yeah,
I've heard of them. Yeah.
they had a song like back in the day that came out. It was like 2003 probably. And it was pop punk, super pop punk, but like the chorus was super pop punk and then the verses were all rapping.
I
And it
love
was
that
tight. It
style.
was tight, super tight. And it was definitely, you know, pop punk to the
Hmm.
max. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. You're saying there's a couple bands who like took that wave and really like pushed it.
I mean, like when I was in high school, I was into, you know, even before high school, like late elementary school, middle school, I was listening to like Rage Against the
Hmm.
Machine and ICP and
Head
then
PE.
Head PE. Yeah. Oh
Yes,
yeah.
he was
I
dope.
literally just listened to Head PE the other day.
I
I
fuck
just
with him. I haven't listened to it in a long time. He's kind of vulgar, but when I was a teenager, that dude rocked, bro. I used to
Oh
show
yeah.
people that all the time, and they're like, "What is this?"
Oh, it's catchy, super catchy. And then
Yes.
like the choruses would like really hit you for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Head PE. I listen to a lot of like new metal, shit like that. Fucking Limp Bizkit. I loved Limp Bizkit's first
I fuck with
album.
Limp Bizkit too. I really like the one.
$3 bill, y'all was that was the shit for
I
sure.
like the one where he was talking about my ex girlfriend playing on the phone line, blowing up. What the fuck did he say, dude? Oh man, I love that song. That whole album is crazy.
Oh yeah,
Is that the hot dog flavored water album?
oh no, that was a couple albums later for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that album had like Counterfeit, Stuck.
Stuck was a good song
Yeah,
too.
for sure.
Dude, they were
That was the one that
good.
had Faith.
I
When
forgot
they
all
came out
about
with the
that.
Faith, that first album is so good.
That Gotta Have Faith song blew them up, I
Oh
think.
yeah, that's what it was because
Like,
they were on like
it must be nice.
spring break for MTV, and then I mean that shit, type of shit doesn't even fucking exist anymore.
I
I
know,
mean
dude.
maybe it does. I'm old, so I don't fucking.
Well, I don't know where those opportunities are for like young artists anymore, but I think it's making our own social media and our own albums and being independent. I think
Oh
our
yeah,
independent media, I think, is the new MTV. You
right.
just got to put those ad dollars behind you to get the numbers. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man. It's been cool. Like over the years, like I've made a lot of connections, and like as once our friend Nick Juan Cosby joined the band, we got even more connections because he was very connected in the local hip hop scene, and he was putting on shows, and so he put us on a bunch of shows with other touring rappers and stuff like that. So I would do portraits of them as they came in. So I like hooked up with like Mega Ran, who's like a nerd rapper, and he came through, and I did stuff for him that's become merchandise that he's used for
That's
years and
dope.
years and years. And I use that as practice of doing headshots and stuff like that, and built up doing like cool headshots for all these rappers, and it gave me that confidence to be around people who I like looked up to,
So
that kind of
how
stuff.
did you get into the comedy scene? Because I'm trying to figure out on the back end how you and I kind of how we met because you did a bunch of work for a bunch of comedians who I look up to and respect, and also some of my peers and friends.
Sure.
And I mean, they were amazing. And I'm looking at all these photos, and every few months I would see someone else get one. And I was like, "Who is this, Andrew?" I used to call you Andrew Donick, and I told you that
Oh
when we
yeah,
met
yeah,
because that's
yeah.
how it's
I
pronounced
mean,
on Facebook.
for
But it's
sure.
Andrew Dench, and I was like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah.
Like, so I've been wanting to meet you for a while before we
Right.
worked together. I was like, I have to work with this fucking guy.
Yeah, so I once again through my friend Nick Juan Cosby, who has been in my group for 10 years now, just about almost 10 years. We Andrew Rudick is one of his best friends growing up.
Okay, gotcha.
So that right there, I hit up Andrew Rudick and was like, okay, let's bring you in, let's do free headshots.
Yeah.
Came in and brought him in to do free headshots, and I just was like, hey, you know some comedians, throw this out there, see if any of them are interested. Lee Kimbrell hit me up. I was like, what's up, dude? And so went from there, hit him, Billy, and all just cascaded.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, people were just hitting me up left and right.
Yeah. I saw Andrews and then Chris Seamers and then Kyle
Yeah.
Kempers. And then
Yeah, they just kind of all kept coming. And I was like, okay, cool.
here's the
Thanks. I'll
thing,
take
too.
it.
Those are all the names that we're naming. Those are people who are all working in the industry
Oh,
in this
yes.
demographic.
Right.
And they want quality stuff. It's like what you and I were talking about earlier. Like, putting those photos out alone had booked me 2 weekends. As soon as within a couple of days of putting
Right.
them out, I had a couple of some friends was like, wow, this. I think they just must have been like, he's taking himself serious too, just because
Sure. I think
it's a new level of professionalism.
I think the same thing goes for, your music and stuff. You have quality quality product that you're showing to people, and
Mhm.
then you can actually follow through with, not just with your visuals but with the actual content. Then you're really gonna you're in there. You hit them, you get in there with the visuals, and then you finesse them with the actual content.
Yeah, and the content's what they what they really come for, right? That's what people want. We want to consume content. I think where I'm at is like I'm right there with you. It's like I've been spending years just tricking them into loving me because I'm putting out cool enough content,
Right.
and it's like we have to do all the marketing stuff around it.
Of
But
course.
it's like I don't know how to convert. It's like how do I convert these fans and these people who are looking up to me and who are interested in me? How do I convert them into customers and make this like a scalable business? Like
R-
that's where my mind is going. And I know it's like no one wants to be capitalist because it almost takes away from our creativity
Sure.
in a
Yeah.
way. It's
It's
like,
definitely you have to find that balance, I think, where you decide that you want to, all right, if I'm gonna take this seriously as a career and I'm gonna put everything behind it, then yeah, then do it. It's what I do with my photography.
yeah,
I spent a lot of time, throughout my 20s just kind of goofing off and partying my face off. And then I got a job as an assistant and partied my face off and goofed off for another like couple years, and then eventually it got to the point where I couldn't do that anymore. And ever since I stopped partying my face off, I've been way more focused and been, you know, just like really taking that aspect seriously and understanding that, I'm no longer like afraid to charge people money
yeah,
because I know that I've earned that in respect in myself. It's not even like I don't even care if other people respect me or what they think of me necessarily. It's all just about what I think about myself. Like,
hmm
and so like it took me a long time to even look at myself and have even self-respect. I
yeah.
think self-respect is way more important than getting respect from others.
It's
Like,
more important than anything. Once I had self respect and I started to think of myself like as an important person
right,
in my life, especially,
for sure.
I was able to show up better for other people in my life.
Mm-hmm. Oh
And
yeah, totally.
yeah, the confidence thing a little bit that helps. Kind of that aspect is there because it makes you more confident, but it just makes you a better version of yourself when you look at yourself.
Yeah, self-reflection is very important, man. Like, I definitely I take self-care, I guess, is like the way I look at it. I mean, whatever, but it's I go to the gym almost twice a day. I focus on my health. I focus on things that are positive, things that are gonna give me something positive to look forward to,
You are
things
pretty
that
ripped, buddy.
thanks, man. I mean, dude,
I didn't really notice, but your veins are kind of bulging out a little bit.
this has been a project, man. Like for my entire life, I was fat, little fat shit growing up.
Were you?
I was skinny. I was like the little scrawny kid until like fifth, sixth grade, and then I hit a growth spurt. And
Mm-hmm.
by growth spurt, I meant I ate bags of
You
Doritos, like
gained man
full.
tits over the
No,
summer.
fucking, I had moobs, man.
Same here, dude.
I totally had fucking man titties when I was a little kid, and it
Yeah,
fucking sucked. Like
yeah,
little kids called you titties, and people
dude.
made fun of you all the fucking time.
I
Like it
know. Trust
sucks.
me, I still have them.
Oh, I still do. They're
They
here.
don't. They
They're
don't ever
here.
go away.
No, I mean,
But it's a self thing.
oh, dude, that's all. And dude, I mean, I'm sure I have fucking severe body dysmorphia. Like,
I do too. That's why
I
you work out twice a
yes,
day.
exactly. I'm purposely trying to get these vascular.
Yeah,
A
dude.
yeah, it's just yeah. I'm sort of obsessed with it. I quit. I've got an addictive nature. I imagine like I started smoking cigarettes when I was in like fucking fifth, sixth grade. Like
Yeah.
young kid smoking Swisher Sweets behind Arby's and shit like that. Like
Smoking
fucking
Swisher shit.
hanging
You
out with
would be a
doing like
Smoking Swisher sweets
doing
behind
hood
Arby's.
rat shit with my friends, like stealing from Kmart and shit like that, like doing all sorts of fucking dumb shit. And just, I was smoking cigarettes for the longest time, and it took me forever to quit smoking cigarettes. Like,
You know what made me really? I smoke every now and then. I'll hit one or two, but I won't buy a pack.
right.
And I think that's what tricks me into not smoking.
For
I could say
sure.
I don't smoke because I don't buy them, but
Right.
it's like a once a month or once every few
Sure.
months thing. And I think it's like chocolate or something.
It
You're supposed to
is.
do it like that, right?
I mean, I imagine so. I mean, like I went cold turkey. I just straight up zonked.
What made me quit, and I did it for a long, long time. I think almost 2 years before I like broke down and started smoking again, like on occasion. But I did a massive dose of shrooms,
Okay.
and I had a really bad trip,
Okay.
and
How much is a massive dose? Are we
like
talking
5 grams. like
Okay.
a heroic
Yeah,
dose,
like a core, like
like a
almost a
life
quarter.
changing dose,
Yeah,
dude.
right,
It
right.
fucked my,
Oh
it
yeah,
fucked me.
all at once. That's quite an amount
It
for
was the
sure.
most I'd ever done, and
Right,
I'd done about an eighth. The first time I ever did them, I did a whole eighth, and
right.
I had a real good
I
time.
think I've done an eighth, maybe a little bit more than that.
It was fun, a little more than that, and you're starting to go like deep within your psyche,
Oh yeah, I'll try.
break down your whole
I
reality.
had the bad. My very first trip on mushrooms was the bad trip.
Really,
Yeah, it was a bad trip. I shaved my head. I
I've
was
only had one bad
18.
trip. It was that one.
Yeah, and then I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not gonna allow a bad trip to ruin this potential that I see in front of me
Hmm.
of all these good trips that I could have." So I had to try it again, and then I did have good trips, and I was like, "Okay, this is dope. I can do this occasionally." I mean, it's been forever since I've done it, but still,
Do you know the John Hopkins University? Are you familiar with this?
I sure, yeah. I mean, like I know what that is. I
In
think.
California. So
Yeah.
they're doing a lot of, I believe it's in California. So they're doing a ton of studies, and they have been for the last few years, about psychedelics and
Right.
their ability to help people get through like post traumatic stress disorder,
Yep.
depression,
Hmm.
and they're saying that with guys like Elon Musk and kind of behind the thing, he's like pushing for it. He's
Right.
pushing for like psychedelics. Like the ketamine's already out. There's a few states that's decriminalized mushrooms completely.
Ketamine freaks me out. I don't know if I want to go into a K hole. Like that's just
Dude, that's crazy, right?
that's not really like
I think it's a
super.
full on trip. I
That's
think it's a
not
little more than a
that's
K hole.
that's not super appealing to me. It doesn't sound that great.
Oh, it's intravenous too,
Yeah,
but you can do it with the doctor's supervision, and I think that's
that's even weirder. I don't
interesting.
know. Like
Somebody
see,
talks you
like
through
even
it.
it even comes into like the legalization of drugs in general. Uh, is kind of a tricky situation because it's like it kind of takes some of the like
The fun out
the
of it.
fun. Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I'm no longer having to like wait at like Wendy's for like 20 minutes for like somebody to pull up next to me and
Hmm.
then like weigh out some like really shitty weed on like a frisbee and then like make
Tear
like
that frisbee again. I don't think it's right.
make like the shadiest drug deal in history like
That's what makes it fun. You're right. It's the excitement of it. It's too easy now.
it's
It's
different.
too.
It's
All you gotta
different.
do is
It's
press a
not.
button nowadays.
I'm not complaining because, like, trust me, I love the recreational aspect of things. I like being able to get stuff for
My,
less expensive, all that type of stuff. It's
the
great.
black,
It's
yeah,
very lovely right now. I'm certainly not complaining. I'm just, yeah,
the black
it's
market
different.
is a good place, but this is my argument and sort of my pushback for the legalization. I believe in it. Here's why: everybody should be able to make their own decisions. First of all, because we're not sheep, we're people, and I feel like we should
We're not
totally
sheeple, baby.
we should totally be able to make our own decisions, even if it kills us. You could eat yourself to death if you wanted, so why shouldn't you be able to smoke crack until you die? Now, there should be strenuous, how do you say, mandates. I think that there should be like laws in place,
Right.
things that keep it out of your hands until you get to be a certain
Oh,
age.
man. I mean,
But
there
but,
are,
but this is the thing I'm trying to circle back to is the reason that the legalization works is because in places like Europe and now actually in New York City, there's one here in the United States. There are now legal injection sites.
oh, yeah,
There
that's
are
very
places
important.
to safely test your drugs before you do them.
Yep.
If you're gonna do dope, dude, and that's what you're on the earth for, fucking go for it. But do it safely to
Right.
where we don't have to pick up all these fucking bodies all the time. We don't have families in turmoils over the shit.
Yeah. I mean, like, eh, it sucks because it's like, people just don't see that aspect of it. They don't see
Because death and addiction are fairly new. I think those things going hand in hand are fairly new.
well, I mean, there's such a stigma against all drugs. Anybody says you do drugs, you're instantly like a freaking junkie. You know, to certain people, they're gonna see you as that no matter what.
That's true.
Smoking weed makes you a junkie.
I've
Like,
tried different drugs, but never. I don't think anything that hard. I've never done like meth or
no,
heroin or.
no, but like, in it's I think like people at points in their lives they choose to do those things, and whether or not they you know want to do them safely or not is up to them.
It's true. Do you think we should be able to test them though? Would you
Oh, I
feel
think
better
it
if
would
there
be.
was like
Oh,
in Cincy
yes, of
there was
course,
a
there
testing
totally
site?
should be.
It's like I'm not gonna take this
dude, so
ecstasy
many
this weekend
freaking
unless I
people.
go
Like,
and get it dropped.
I don't think I know anybody personally who has died from fentanyl. Um, but I know people who know people personally
I do too.
that have had that literally key bump dead.
Like this week, I'm telling you, like in the last
It's-
couple of weeks, I've seen people on
it doesn't
Facebook like
even make
rest in
sense
peace,
to
and
me.
I'm like that. Well, sometimes I see him and I'm like, I didn't even know that guy did drugs.
Right. Oh yeah, because
I was
it's
like, that's
and
weird.
that's the
It could
thing
have
is
been coke because
that's
a
the
lot of
thing
people do
is,
coke like party drugs, and they don't.
of
There's
course
dude,
you
you know
can.
who Kate Quigley is, the comedian?
No.
So she was in L.A. and apparently she almost died too. But like like an actor and another comedian died because they got a bag of coke that had that shit in it. That's how Mac Miller died. He
Dude,
was a cokehead too, and
well,
he
I
did it.
mean, that's the thing is like
It's not safe
you can
anymore.
function in society with on drugs. I mean, like
Hmm.
everybody does it. People take Xanax and take Adderall and take all sorts of
People drink
prescription
all day.
drugs,
I know a lot of people who
all
drink all
sorts
day.
of prescription drugs, and are just out there among among the living or
Yeah,
whatever you want to say. Like I don't know, like. They want to stigmatize one thing but not stigmatize the other, but it's like, oh, it's okay if it's prescription, somebody's prescribed to you. Oh, but it's not cool because this person isn't prescribed to it and they just did it because they
I
wanted
think
to get high.
I think everybody's on something.
I think
I
at
really
some
do. I
point,
think at some point everybody's on something, and it's like find your thing because it's a human race, and we're all out here just trying to win, right? We're all trying to
right?
win. And it's like nowadays we have the science and the medicine to get you in the right places, just depending on what your occupation is.
Some people, just trying to exist. Like, not everybody lives their own subjective life. They're all living their lives through their own POV,
Yeah,
like it's it's hard because you can't tell a person who's doing heroin or doing crack like, oh, why are you doing this? It's because they have their own personal reasons, and then
hmm,
the other person who does it is going to have a completely different reason, and another person does it is going to have a completely different reason. Some people do that stuff and just exist among the business world. They're
that's
just
true too.
there, up there in the business world, and they do heroin and stuff like that.
Yeah,
The difference is that they're not poor.
yeah. So they get good heroin that
Of
doesn't
course,
kill
they
you.
they are probably testing it. They probably are getting it
It
tested.
could be the guys bringing it into the city. I'm
Dude,
not gonna lie. I feel like a lot of the big businesses are fronts. I think
I
this
mean,
whole
I don't
country is
trust
the
any
drug
of I
front.
don't trust any
That's a
of
joke.
them. Like
Don't take me serious on that.
it's I mean, I have a hard time trusting anybody, but like it's just apathetic at one point, just
Hmm.
I guess like yeah, of course I go to Kroger and buy all my stuff from Kroger because they're just what I'm used to. I grew up going to Kroger and they're also a gigantic conglomerate that has control of all the food that I eat.
Yeah,
Like
they really
that's
are.
kind of creepy to think about. Like
What's
what
weird
the
is the way that they controlled it over the years was by like first we were kids, they started doing the CPU codes and stuff like that.
yeah, oh
That
yeah.
came along like when we were children, and a lot of people just kind of grew up with it. But we were that's the cool thing about whatever you're a little bit, couple years older than
Oh,
me,
I'm gonna be
35,
30. Yeah, I'm 37.
37. So I'm
Took me a
32.
minute.
We're pretty close. We're right there.
Right.
So it's like our generation. We also did not have the internet when we were born, and then it came along, and
Right.
then it was cell phone. So
Oh yeah.
we're like a tricky generation that saw it go from like normal society to kind of beast mode within like 3 decades.
Right. And I think we were young enough to actually like get it when it was fresh.
Yeah.
Like I was on cell phones. I was texting and driving back way before it was a thing about texting and driving. Like, because I remembered all the buttons. I had to know the buttons.
I used to do it in my
I didn't
pocket
even
in
look at. Yeah,
class.
you didn't. Of course, because you had to practice
Yeah.
under your desk, like texting all the time.
It was
'Cause
almost like Morse code.
it was. It
Yeah.
basically was. You got
Yeah.
real good at that shit.
Fuck
You
yeah.
got real good at that shit. And
Remember
then all of a
Snake?
sudden, it was like I was like even hesitant to move on from that. I was like, fuck, I'm moving on from T9 Word? No
Yeah,
way.
this is crazy.
What?
Talk to
I got that's a screen. I just had to adjust to a touch screen. Like people don't even nowadays don't even have to think about that. Like think about kids that are born from like 2010.
Yeah.
They only know touch screens and shit like that.
Dude, it was hard to get my kids to start learning how to like spell and get the concept of like writing down words and things
Right.
because they can just talk into the device and
Oh, man.
whatever they want comes up. Whatever
Right.
video, whatever game, whatever they want to order, it all comes up because they can talk into the microphone.
Dude, I think that as fucked up as it is, because I fucking hated school. I mean, school was bullshit to me. I stopped trying in third grade, and but like vocabulary in school, like they made us have those vocab books.
Yeah.
We had to learn all this fucking shit, and we had to learn how to spelling, and I got good at that.
Yeah.
I got real good at spelling, and so I ended up winning the spelling bee in fifth grade. I was like the fucking spelling bee champ. That was like my one thing. I
That's
did
awesome.
that. I was the spelling bee boy. I was like, great job to me.
I think
about
language is important internally and externally because the things that we think internally and like the way that we write down things and say things out loud, that's our reality.
that. Right.
It's like I don't want to get too wooey, but it's almost, I was talking to someone, my buddy Cody, about in my last podcast about how like this could be a video game, and like the things that we write down and spell out are like the spells or like the magic that we. So if you got really good at that, it's not a wonder that you're really good at a lot of things because you're like good at words and like
Right.
verbalizing what you want out of the universe.
I would like to think that I'm good at words for sure.
Is that the dumbest thing anyone's ever said? You're really good at words. I try to make like a complex thought, and then at the end, I was like,
Me good
"Yo,
at-
you're good at words.
Me good at words.
This
for
guy's
sure.
a good word maker.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
He's a wordsmith."
Uh,
I'm retarded. How long have we been going? I'm sorry, I wasted your time.
no, you're good.
You drove all the way here for me to tell you were good at words, dude.
Man, I'll be. I was lucky, man. Like I was lucky because like I got reinforced. I had a few teachers. Like I went to public school, but like I had the couple teachers like the classic movie Tale that cared. You know,
Yes.
they took me under their wing. And,
Yeah.
like a couple of them like actually encouraged me to like. They were like, "Wow, you can write poetry. Like you're actually good at this." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, I don't know. I was a writer, man. I was really good. Literally, I was good at words. I could make up fucking bullshit. I could write an essay fast. I can just bust out a fucking essay.
Are you good at like stories too? Like, is that, or
Yeah, I
you're
could
just
write
good at, or are you
stories.
good
I
at
feel
like
like I could write
summarizing
stories.
stuff?
I could write stories. I just, the technical aspect of things, like I never got into. I just was really good at putting out thoughts
Yeah.
into written words. And then eventually it became just I would write slop. It would literally be the things that were just coming into my head. It would just be words just nonstop.
It's super therapeutic, though. They say
Oh,
that
yeah.
they say that writing stuff down gets it out, and then you
Oh,
have more room for
It
new
saved
thoughts.
my life. I mean, it saved my life in high school.
Like journaling and
because-
stuff.
I mean, my dad died when I was 15, in middle of high school, sophomore year, and then like that's pretty much I started writing like every single day. Junior, senior year, I was just writing poetry. It wasn't even rap songs or anything. I was just all poetry, nonstop, just whatever was in my head, thoughts, emotions, feelings. Started reading poetry. I started getting super into it, and then just eventually, like I had a teacher who was like my guy who took me under his wing, and he showed me hip hop. He showed me Deltron 3030. He showed me Dr. Octagon,
That's dope.
underground hip hop. And I had, obviously I had heard Dr. Dre and all this kind of stuff. And, Deltron 3030 is Del the fucking Homo sapien, who was the rapper from the Gorillas that had their big song. And I became obsessed. I started learning every single word. I started learning all of that. And then I started getting into Atmosphere and all these other rappers. And it just evolved into writing random nonsense into forming, rhyme patterns and forming. And then I became obsessed with just that in general and just started writing nonstop. I still write every single day.
To see where you are now, like, is it wild to you, like, looking back on all that and thinking, like, because I can empathize with that a lot because like my dad passed away when I was 17.
Right.
So like when you
We're in the DDC.
that's a dead dad club.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
the.
right here. Yeah.
I was gonna
DDC
say,
the
oh,
DDC.
that's dope. The DDC.
Yeah.
I like the Skyline Chili tattoo
Oh yeah,
a lot
this
though.
one too. Skyline.
He's
Shout
got
out. I don't.
Sensi boys don't play about
They
their chili.
never gave me anything free.
I gotta be
Ever.
honest. That's you should just scan. Every time you go in, I would try to scan
Well, so
it. You just try to tell it. Hey, can you scan this, dude? That would be a viral meme.
so like
Or
when I used
video.
to drink, like when I haven't had a drink of alcohol in since 2018, since the end of 2018. But before then, when I was younger, I was real bold and brash, and I would go blackout drunk into Skyline at like fucking 3 a.m, and I'd be like, "Do I get anything free for this?" And they'd just be like, "No, sir. Please get your head off the counter and leave. Here's your 14 conies. Go sloppily eat them on the floor of your one studio apartment, sad and alone by yourself." Like that was my life for quite some time. 3 a.m, blackout, Skyline, getting way too much food, waking up with bags all around me, like twisted ankles.
Dude, I think some of your photography and a good email to the corporate office would probably get you a little bit of a discount at some
maybe,
point.
who knows? I don't
They're
know.
like, listen, if you get a QR code at the top of it, we'll put it in the scanner.
There you go.
We'll put it in the system for you. Get 10% off.
Yeah,
He's a good guy.
it's always funny. Like I've seen other people that have like Skyline tattoos, and they've always got them like up on their arm and hidden. And I'm like, mine's right here for everybody to see because I made that decision when
Every
I
time I
was
pay for a coney,
19. Here you go.
they gotta see it every time you
Oh,
pay
yeah.
for the dog,
Oh
bro.
yeah. I don't
so
go to
good.
Gold Star. I don't fuck with Gold Star mostly because
Did
I
you
don't
know
want
the
them to
same?
see my fucking shit.
Did you know it's the exact same?
No, it's not.
All right, this
There's
is
not a
this is
chance.
okay. So
There's
this
not
is
a
okay.
chance.
This is what I heard, and you know what? The
No.
man Billy DeVore actually told me this. So he's a Cincinnati chili
Oh,
historian.
I know. He has a dish named after him at Camp Washington Chili. So
Really?
he's nobody to fuck with.
That's really cool.
Bi-
So this is
Billy
the
DeVore is nobody to fuck with.
he broke down the Cincinnati chili wars for me. So Empress Chili, okay, this
Right.
was the original, and they used to sell it out of bowling alleys and eventually grocery stores, and eventually it became a brick and mortar. But they broke up, and it was two brothers.
Right.
So one started Gold Star, one started Skyline, but it's the same family recipe apparently.
See,
Is this wrong?
I don't know about the
I can't fact check it.
I don't know
this
nothing
is
about
lore.
the history. Like I don't know
Okay.
shit about the history about it.
But you just
I
don't
know
fuck
it
with
tastes
it.
fucking good.
You just don't fuck with
Oh
Gold
no.
Star. Have
I
you
just
ever
don't
had it? Or you
I've
just,
had it. Yeah, plenty of times. It's just not for me.
does it not taste the same to you?
To me, it doesn't.
You know
No.
what? My girlfriend is also an avid Gold Star chili person. She will not, or not. She's an avid Skyline person,
right.
and I bought Gold Star before, and she'll throw it in the trash. And I'm like, to
I'll
find
eat
out
it.
that there's no difference
See, I'll
blows
eat
my
it.
mind.
I'll eat it because I'm not gonna turn down food in
Yeah.
front of my face. Like
You're like,
usually,
there's people starving in the world.
right?
I'm not gonna-
I mean, mostly I'm just hungry, so I'm gonna eat it.
I think it's marketing, though.
Fuck less.
It's like the conversation we were having off mic earlier. It's marketing. It's like
It is,
it's
for
at
sure.
at
They
a
got me.
subconscious level.
Oh, they got me.
I mean, you tattooed them on your aunt.
Oh, they got me.
You're like, oh, I don't have this
I
other
used
tattoo.
to live like in walking distance, so I would walk there all the time. This was a decision I made when I was young because I was like fucking blinded by Skyline. I was a vegetarian at the time.
Your friends
I
are
was
like,
getting
let's
the
go to Gold
vegetarian
Star. You look
version.
down and you're like,
Nah,
no, I
I'll
don't have a
wait-
Gold Star tattoo, buddy.
I'll wait for you outside.
Yeah. You see this fucking wrist?
You see this wrist, motherfucker? Think I'm playing? No.
It's a fucking game to you?
Dedicated.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it's,
If I scratch it, does it smell like cinnamon? Can I try it?
it probably will. No, I don't think so. It probably might still smell
It
like
doesn't. It
the
smells.
shower.
I was gonna
took a
say,
shower.
it smells like shiso. It's mint.
It was one of my fancy soaps. I've gotten into fancy soaps.
Like Fight Club.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I went to TJ Maxx. I saw some fancy soaps. I'm like, yep, I'm a Maxxinista. I'm gonna get these fancy
Maxxinista?
soaps.
Is that what
And
they
it's
call
like,
it? Dude, that's
I'm like,
fire,
dude, these fancy soaps are dangerous though, because like I saw, I was blinded by they just saw fancy soaps, and I'm like, okay, this got some fucking.
Is it just the
charcoal.
brand Fancy Soap?
I have no idea what the fucking brand was,
It's
but
Fancy Soap brands.
there was like three different ones. One's like charcoal, and one's like soap scrub, and it's like
Pine
this
wood.
is some fucking fancy shit,
Yeah,
and it's
dude.
like this will like help with your skin, help smooth your skin, and it comes with these little rocks on it and stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is good. And I'm going, and all of a sudden it just slices the shit out of me. I'm like, my fancy soap tried to kill me.
Yeah, it did, dude. In the shower.
Why?
It was a murder.
I'm just trying to enrich my life with some fancy soaps, and I'm coming out bleeding from this fancy soap.
Dude, you got it all the way home, and then it was like, yeah, we're friends, huh? Why don't we take a shower together? Hop on in. Squeeze me on your evil fucking scum.
That's
You know
what
that's
I get
actually
for being
bad.
a hipster and fucking trying fucking fancy soap.
That shit's outlawed in California because of those beads are bad for the ocean.
Dude,
They say it's bad
I'm
for the
sure
aquatic
they
life.
are. I feel bad.
I
For
don't
the
buy
little
it.
fucking for the little sea turtles.
They're putting that shit in everything. It's in toothpaste.
Yeah, I mean it's delicious.
My dog likes to eat charcoal.
I'll use that in my toothpaste. I like when it like.
Is it now? What is it? Charcoal body wash, or was it something else? Was it like fucking
No.
splinters? It has a real pine in it. You're like, dude, this hurts.
It's
bro.
new fresh with razor blades.
Fresh with razors. It's not the kind of fresh I'm looking for after the shower.
It's bloodletting, actually, I think is what it's
It's
called.
fun, bloodletting. You can go to bloodletting.com. You can get 10% off. Just put in the Morning Woods podcast. That'd be a thing. We would sponsor that.
Fucking A, man.
I'm gonna. How long we been rolling, Justin? That's a pretty good podcast.
Yeah, man, I'm happy. Man.
I had
It's
a good time.
Yeah, it's dope. So definitely check out When You Find a Stranger in the Alps, Counterfeit Money Machine on Spotify, YouTube, all that shit. We just put out a video for Feed Me to the Cyclops song on the album. So check that out.
You guys, make sure you check out Andrew. Follow him. He has some great music out there. He's also an amazing photographer, and they have a great studio down in Cincinnati. If anybody needs work in that aspect, this guy's amazing. He's the one who does my
Hey.
photography right here. Look at this. Look at this. This is incredible.
I
He
did
found my
that.
good side. I didn't know
Me.
it existed.
I did that.
This is great. Make sure you guys also follow this YouTube channel. Hit subscribe. Follow the mailing list in case we're deplatformed from here. Follow us on Spotify. Appreciate you listening. Thanks so much. Rock on, guys.